All right, we're live.
We are live. Hey, everybody.
Yeah, drop some comments.
Let us know if you are here.
Tell us where you're tuning in from.
I forgot that there's always a lag. Oh, yay.
Hey, Ecom Enterprise. Happy to have you here.
Hey, guys. People are pouring in. We got 14. Guys, 150 people have RSVP'd to come tonight. So, I know that it won't be that many, but we are just really, really excited. This is a hot topic right now, or topics, if you will. All things reseller, taxes, and accounting. But we are excited. Hey, Deb. Deb is here. Hey. RX Vintage Retail Therapist.
Oh, it's Val. Hey, Val.
Yes. Oh, guys, this is so great. So good to see all of you. Welcome in. So we're just going to take just, 1 or 2 minutes, just wait for some more people to get in here. Guys, let us know how sales are going. What platforms have been doing well for you? Poshmark, eBay, Amazon, all the above. Drop that in the comments though, because I know February was a very, very slow month for me. As soon as March hit, it picked up for me. Still not selling a ton, mostly because the majority of my time is spent on My Reseller Genie. Val, you are not pesky. You are not pesky at all.
Good to have you here, Al.
Yes.
We got Val and Al.
And TJ. Hey, guys. Everybody come on in.
It's cool seeing people that I've communicated with through email.
I know.
Really happy to have you guys here tonight.
Kim is here. Kim Inman. Hey, Kim. We're so happy that you're here.
I just spilled my water.
Oh, that's okay. No, maybe you should go get some more water.
Maybe I should, yeah.
All right, we're going to let Paul go get his hydration. And it is water. Somebody made a joke last time about it being vodka. We do not do that here. Water only tonight. Oh, good.
Got to stay sharp for the broadcast.
Yes, we do. All right. Deb says, I've been doing better on eBay lately. Still some slow days, but much improved over the last year. Good. That's awesome. That's awesome. Welcome in, guys. If you're just coming in, let us know how sales have been. February was a slow month for so many of us. I know some of us crushed it in February, though. Let us know if February was just an amazing month of sales for you. Would love to know that.
Yeah. What are you selling?
Yeah, exactly. What are you selling? Oh, Ashley's here. Ashley has been with us for a very, very long time. Ashley, it's really, really great to see you here. Awesome. All right, we got like 25 people in here. I know there's going to be a lot more. Should we?
Yeah, let's get started and just kind of introduce ourselves. And we'll bring our honored guests on.
Yes, we will. All right. Well, why don't you go first?
Oh, me? Okay, yeah. I can introduce us. So I'm Paul. This is my beautiful wife, Faith. We are My Reseller Genie. And if you're here, you probably know what we do. But if you don't know, we are accounting software specifically designed for resellers. So kind of like QuickBooks, but we only care about your business. We're going to be bringing on a couple guests tonight who are accountants to just kind of talk about all things accounting for resellers. Yeah. We're in that first 4 months of the year where everyone's kind of stressing and trying to get themselves together. So hopefully tonight will be helpful and
just take away some of that stress.
Yeah. Stress relief, ideally. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
Not really. I'll kind of insert some things here and there, but we're just really, really excited to have you guys here. And let me just real quick, I guess, give you a layout of what you can expect tonight. So we did have several people write in with questions first. Or previously. So we are going to go ahead. We're going to bring Courtney and Jenn on here in a minute. We're going to let them introduce themselves. And then we're just going to dive into the questions on the list. There's not a ton, but it might take a little bit of time just for them to go ahead and explain those. And we are going to be having giveaways, guys, sprinkled throughout tonight. So you need to be listening carefully. We're going to be giving away 3 months of My Reseller Genie. So we'll be kind of sprinkling those in. And then after we get done all the questions that all the questions that were written into us previously, we will get to the questions that are in the chat. So feel free to drop the questions in the chat now, but just know we're not going to answer those until the end. We'll just kind of scroll through. So yeah, I think that's it. Great. Should we bring Courtney and Jenn on?
Let's bring Courtney and Jenn on.
Here we go. Okay, so guys, I'm going to have you guys introduce yourselves, but I would like to just give a very short introduction from each of you guys because both of you have just been instrumental in our business and My Reseller Genie. We have just become friends with both of you guys, and what you all do for the community, not just for resellers, but for helping folks with their taxes. It's such a huge service, and I think everybody here in the chat, everybody here on the live would say we need you guys. So thank you all so much. But Jennifer Monsos, she is a CPA. She has also done reselling in the past. And she has helped many, many resellers with their taxes, with their accounting. We actually had her on our live last year, right around this time, for a similar thing, a reseller tax Q&A. But she's just fantastic. And then Courtney, we met more recently because Courtney has actually been studying under Jenn. She's studying for her CPA right now. And I won't say too much because I want you guys to introduce yourselves. But we just love you both. We're really, really happy that you're here. And thanks so much for taking the time.
Yeah, and they probably won't talk about just how huge of an exam, well, the 4 exams for the CPA are, but hats off to you, Courtney, for what you're studying for, and to you, Jenn, for what you've already achieved.
All right. Well, Jenn, how about you go ahead? Can you just give us a little introduction? Tell us who you are. Tell us what you're up to now.
Okay. All right. So my name is Jennifer, obviously, it's on the screen, and I'm a CPA located in Wisconsin. Obviously I'm in the woods of Wisconsin. You can tell by looking at my background here. I have been doing tax work for over 30 years and primarily focused on small home-based businesses. So once I started doing reselling of my own, I got more familiar with how reseller taxes work. In my real world, Courtney actually just purchased my tax practice. So now I do consulting, business setup, helping you get organized, those kind of things. So I also have a course that we'll talk about later for you guys. But so primarily now I'm a full-time college professor. I teach accounting. Imagine that. And so I teach accounting. We have a food truck and we have gardens and we have all kinds of other fun things because we're kind of at the tail end where we're thinking about retiring. So probably get further back into reselling here pretty soon. So that's about me. I'm married. I have 3 adult kids, cats, chickens. That's, pretty much my life.
All the good stuff. That's good. Thank you, Jennifer. And Courtney, go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right, I'm Courtney, like it says on the screen. I'm a military spouse, kind of can tell by the picture behind me. Me and Jenn met through a company that works with military spouses, and then I asked Jenn to kind of help me on my CPA journey. So now that's how I am where I am, buying her firm and doing taxes this year. I have a master's in accounting and finance with forensic accounting as my concentration. And I'm studying for my CPA. Fingers crossed we get that done by December.
Yes. We are rooting for that. Awesome. Thank you guys. Do you want to say anything before we dive in?
No, I think we should get right into it.
All right, guys, we're gonna just jump in. Okay, so Paul and I are gonna kind of moderate, and we're gonna ask, we're gonna be asking Jenn and Courtney questions. Again, if you just came in, we will save any questions that are dropped in the chat for after we get through this list of questions that folks already wrote into us over like the last couple of weeks. So, okay, do you want to ask the first question?
Yeah. All right. So, how do you account for inventory traded for store credit at buy-sell trade stores?
So I think that one was for me, right?
Yeah, that's for you.
So yeah. So technically you're supposed to claim the value of it. Okay. So technically you're supposed to claim the value of things that are trade and things that are bartered. So according to the IRS tax code, if you take something in and you get $3 worth of trade credit, that would be $3 of income, which you would then most likely spend on something else that you're going to buy and sell, right? So most likely you're going to be using that again. But yes, so technically I have to say you need to claim that as income because it technically is. So that's the short answer. Or a long answer to a short question. I don't know, one way or the other. So
that's great. That's great.
Very cool. You want to ask the next one?
Yeah. Okay, so and Jen, I believe this one is for you as well. So somebody wrote in and said, we began our eBay business in 2022 and have not kept inventory. Wait, is that what they meant? And have not kept inventory. My reading of IRS publications leads me to believe that not keeping an inventory is okay as long as we add our actual costs to COGS for each item. Am I correct on this?
Okay, so here's I'm going to give you an overview of the inventory situation, because what you're reading in the IRS code is saying if inventory is not like vital to your business. So if it is immaterial to your business, you don't need to track it. What is a reselling business? What is your primary thing that you have? You have inventory, right? It is not insignificant to a reseller to track inventory. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that by not tracking inventory, now if you add your cost of goods sold for each item as it's sold, and you report the sales and the costs that are attached to those sales, you still, that's better, I guess, than doing it on the cash basis. But you still need to know what you have in inventory. And there's multiple reasons for that. One is you want to do some analysis, and My Reseller Genie helps you do this. You want to do some analysis on how fast am I turning over my inventory? What categories am I turning over quicker? You're not going to know that if you're not maintaining your inventory. So it's going to make it more difficult, one, to grow your business if you're not maintaining your inventory. And number two, there can be some situations from a tax perspective where you may miss a credit, or you may get a reduced credit one year if you're not tracking inventory because you're not including that on your tax return. So there's multiple reasons to do it, even though the IRS tax code says technically, if inventory is insignificant to your business, you're not required to do it. I consider it a very significant part of you guys' accounting process and your tax work. So.
Sure. Thank you, Jen. All right, next
one. So Jen, what's the difference between accrual inventory accounting and cash inventory accounting?
And we probably should have asked that one first, but before you just answered that.
Yeah. Okay. So cash inventory essentially means when you buy stuff, you write it off. So if you're working on the cash basis, cash means when I spend it, I claim it. And when I earn it, I claim it. So that's cash basis. So if you go out and you buy $1,000 worth of stuff at Goodwill, we're just going to say you're at one of those really fancy Goodwills, and you spent $1,000 and you just claim that right away as an expense. Okay. Now, accrual aligns the income and expenses so that when you sell an item, you are also claiming the expense that goes against it. All right. So accrual is not when you technically have the physical money in your hand, but when you earn it or when you sell it. Okay. So I prefer, actually, we require that our clients use the accrual basis for inventory because it aligns your cost with your revenue. It gives you a clearer picture of what your net income is, what your gross profit is, and it helps you to determine how fast you're turning over your inventory and what inventory categories are selling quickest. Also, if you have a glut of inventory, I know there's a bunch of you out there that have, death piles. I've talked with a few of you that have death rooms and death storage sheds. So we want to work at getting past that so that you don't, so that you're knowing what the things are that you should be keeping and listing because you're keeping track. So they're not, again, long answer to a short question, but accrual aligns your costs with your revenues. Cash basis is just, if I have it in my hand, money, I claim it. If I spend it, I claim it. So that's the short answer to cash and accrual. I
Gotcha.
take like 3 weeks in my accounting classes to teach that.
Well, you did a very, very good job in a short amount of time explaining that. So thank you. And if I'm being honest, we're probably going to end up asking you that again at some point tonight because somebody's probably going to have a question about that. So
Yeah, I mean, like it takes some time to get your head around it.
it does. It does.
For sure. So
Yeah.
if you don't understand yet, don't
It
feel
does.
bad.
It
You
does.
can come back and you can watch this video again.
You can ask us questions, ask your accountant questions.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So next up, Faith and I are going to take this. So can My Reseller Genie support both cash and accrual inventory methods? Yes, we can. So when we started out, our main goal was to make accrual inventory accounting easy, because if you don't know how to do it, it can be kind of difficult to structure your data to set yourself up for success doing accrual inventory methods. So My Reseller Genie does make that easy. But if you do the cash inventory method, you can also do that in My Reseller Genie.
Awesome. Okay, awesome. We've gotten through several of these so far. Let me just take a break real quick. For anybody who's just joining us, welcome. We are answering some questions that users wrote in over the last couple of weeks first, and then we're going to get to your questions in the live chat after that. So I feel like, though, we should do our first giveaway right now.
Oh, do you have a question to ask?
I'm trying to think of a question right now, actually, honey. Have you thought of a question?
Well,
No, you haven't.
yeah, no. How about this? Does anybody know? Actually, I guess before I ask the question, I should specify the rules. All right. So the first comment that we see in our chat that's right will win. Now, keep in mind this is coming from 2 or 3 different sources, so
Facebook.
we may see someone else before yours, even if you think you're the first one. Okay. So all that to say, what is Jen spending most of her time doing these days?
Oh, that's a good one. First person to get the correct answer will win 1 free month of My Reseller Genie Ultimate, which is the highest tier plan that we have, has the most automation. It's fantastic. First person to answer wins. It looks like they're starting to roll in now. It's funny.
Your phone is ahead of me.
All right. It
All
looks
right.
like
Heather Hall. Teaching.
Woo! Congrats, Heather. All right, Heather, you just won a free month of My Reseller Genie. Go ahead and shoot us an email. I will go ahead and drop our email address in the chat. Shoot us an email. Let us know that you're one of the winners from the live tonight, and we will get you set up with the coupon so that you can try My Reseller Genie out for free. Cool. Congrats, guys. All right, moving on to the next questions. We have, this one is for Jen as well. Courtney, we are going to ask you eventually here some questions. Okay. Can I buy a car with my business?
Okay, so you can technically. So my suggestion typically is that you purchase your vehicle personally and you claim the mileage for business. Now, there's 2 ways that you can claim business use of your vehicle, but none of us, and I'm speaking like from experience, 30 plus years of doing taxes. I have yet to meet someone that has a vehicle that's 100% used for their business, unless they have a corporation and have employees and all of those things. So it's best if you purchase your vehicle personally and then keep your mileage for your business. Now, mileage is at 65.5 cents a mile this year. 65.5 cents per mile. So for me, a trip to the post office and back is 10 miles. That would be a $6.50 deduction on every time I go to the post office. So it works out very well. So although you technically could purchase a vehicle if you have an LLC or a partnership or a corporation, it typically works out better for you to own your vehicle personally and claim the mileage on your vehicle.
Cool.
Awesome.
Very cool. All right. Yeah, I'll do the next one.
Courtney,
you're up. All right. So can I deduct part of my house as a business expense?
So we get this question all the time, and what people don't know about it, it has to be 100% dedicated to your business. And then, yes, it can be claimed. And then with that, we ask a bunch of questions so we can get a bunch of deductions off for your business use of home. But it has to be 100% used for your business and not for anything else.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
Great. Thank you, Courtney. Okay. Can I deduct my cell phone bill? What about cell phone purchases, Jen?
So you can deduct a portion of your cell phone bill. So again, we typically do not have a cell phone that is just specifically for reselling, right? So normally what I have people do is estimate how much of your time are you using it for business. So most of us that do reselling, and I do this often, I'll be at a store and I'll be like searching, right? I'm looking up. What's the value of this? Do I want to spend $6 on this at Goodwill? Is it worth it? So I'm using my phone to do like analysis on items. So that's one thing. Listing. If you're a Poshmarker, you're listing most of your stuff using your phone. So let's say that you think you're using your phone about 50% for business, then we can claim 50% of the of your cell phone bill. And we can also claim, if you purchase a new cell phone, we can claim 50% of that. Now, most of us now are leasing or paying our cell phone bill or are paying off our cell phone as part of our bill. So it would be the 50% part of your bill. 50% is a pretty typical number. Courtney, would you agree with that? 50% is a pretty typical amount that we see as far as what people are claiming for business use of their cell phones if they are resellers. That's pretty standard. You can go higher or lower, but that's, what we see.
Gotcha. Awesome. Thank you.
All right, Courtney, can I deduct my internet?
So just like your cell phone, yes, you can deduct it. It will go as a utilities for an expense. Most of the time you do it as a portion, again, just like a cell phone, because we're not using our internet 100% for our business. It's for your home also. So you have to take it at the percentage you're using for your business.
Awesome. Thanks, Courtney. Okay, Jen, can I deduct all my travel, hotel, and food expenses for trade shows? I'm curious to hear this one, although Paul probably could have answered it for me, but. I think, Jen, can you hear us?
So if you are going specifically on a trip for a business trip, yes, you can deduct it. If you are
I don't know. Courtney, is that catching for you too?
Yeah.
Okay. Shoot. Jen, I think that your internet connection is a little bit slow right now.
I can answer it if she doesn't come back.
Yeah, let me just message Jen real quick and let her know. Courtney, if you don't mind answering that, that would be awesome.
So like what Jen was saying, you have to be solely going for your business trip. Like it's for business, not personal. Then yes, you can deduct because you're going for your business. But, if you're doing a personal trip, you really shouldn't be deducting it because it's personal. And even though you may do a little bit, it's not your business trip. So it's not a deduction.
Gotcha.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. This next one will be fun to ask an accountant who's in the middle of tax season. Do I really need to keep up with my books throughout the year? Can I just do it at the end?
Please do it throughout the year. As a bookkeeper and a tax accountant, please. I meet with clients once a month to keep their books up in line, even in the middle of tax season, because it's so much easier. There's less confusion. You know right away what you've done that month for the most part. So much easier. Please don't wait till the end of the year.
That's good advice.
That is good advice. And let me just jump in there too. And again, reminder, sorry for you guys who have been with us this entire time, but I know that many people are kind of coming in and out. So if you're just coming, we have a list of questions here that we're going to answer first, and then we're going to get to any questions that weren't answered in the chat after this. So thank you guys so much for coming. Please, everybody just take a deep breath if you are listening. And if you're starting to feel a little bit stressed out about any of this, just take a deep breath because listen, guys, this is a process. Learning how to account for your business is a process, and it's a whole different skill to have. And as a reseller myself, so, I married an accountant. He understood all the accounting stuff. I did not. I do reselling. Like, I love people. Like, those are my two things. And so, like, I've had to learn the accounting side of it. And is it hard? I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say, oh, it's just like the easiest thing to understand and learn. But I will say I'm not very tech savvy at all. And I don't catch on quickly to things. But if I can learn it, you can learn it too. I promise you that. And we're here to help you guys. My Reseller Genie is here to help. And I cannot tell you how happy you're going to be. Like, if all of this is new for some of you guys, you're going to be so happy. You're going to feel so empowered once you understand some of this stuff, because you're going to look at your business and you're going to see different colors all of a sudden. Like, your business will not look the same once you start to understand and know your numbers. And that just kind of leads me into our next question. Courtney, do you think that My Reseller Genie is a good accounting solution for resellers, and why?
Absolutely. I love when my clients come to me with their little reseller report that has their cost of goods sold. They even have an inventory report that shows you your beginning inventory, your purchases, and your ending inventory. Please, if you have a really good spreadsheet, or please use My Reseller Genie, because it makes life so much easier for us tax accountants to just have one little or maybe two pieces of papers for us to review and see everything in a nice, clean format.
Awesome. Thank you, Courtney. And guys, for anybody who knows, like, we don't get anything, for referring people to Courtney. She gets a tiny, tiny affiliate commission if somebody signs up for My Reseller Genie using her code. But really, we just believe in what she's doing. We believe in what Jenn is doing. They've been so helpful just with helping the reselling community understand their numbers and help them with their bookkeeping and taxes. Okay, so you want to, how about I ask you this question? Oh, wait. Is that what you wanted to do?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So how do you document a payment, like an owner draw, to yourself as a single proprietor, LLC, and MRG? I'd eventually like to make some money to pay myself. Do you just create an expense detail, or is it a cash dispersion?
Yeah. So that's a great question. So an owner's draw is not going to be an expense. It will be a cash transaction getting pulled out of your business. My Reseller Genie doesn't actually have the general ledger account type that you would use normally to track owner's draws. So what you can do is, in your cash reconciliation tab, you can make a note for when a payment comes out that's an owner's draw, and you can have the details saved that way. Or if you wanted to have a consolidated list, you could track that in a spreadsheet separately if you wanted to.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Guys, we're seeing all of your questions coming up in the chat. They're fantastic questions. And we are just about done with our list here. And then we're going to jump into the chat. So thank you, guys. Thank you. And we have 2 more months of My Reseller Genie to give away. So we will give another one away after these last 2 questions. And then we'll get to the chat. Okay. So Courtney, what would you say to a reseller who's completely freaked out and clueless over how to start accounting for their business?
So I've met with a couple of them this tax season. Please don't feel like you're alone. There's a bunch of you out there. Just step back and start slow. Like, take something simple like your shipping expenses and put that in. Don't overthink or go and look at, like Jenn was talking, your death room. Do not start there right away. One of my clients, I told her every day, take 10 items from your death room and just start putting them in My Reseller Genie or into your spreadsheet. Do it slow. Because if you're like me, you're going to freak out, shut down, run away from it because it becomes too big of a thing and you don't want to deal with it. So just take small baby steps and slowly do it, or reach out for help, like using My Reseller Genie or finding a bookkeeper, whatever, something to help you. Don't try to do it all at once, though.
Yeah, no, thank you. And I just want to say that too, because again, I'm the reseller person. I didn't have experience with accounting. It is a process, guys, because listen, if you think of it this way, if you get hired for a brand new job with that requires a skill set that you've never used, but the person who's training you, is willing to kind of teach you everything from scratch, you're not going to walk in there and know how to do it all in a day. You're just not. It's going to take weeks and months. And that isn't to discourage you or make you afraid of accounting. This is just to remind you you guys, like, this is a different piece of our business that not many of us are used to tracking. And so just take one little piece a day, or two, if it's a great day, take 2 pieces, start to learn some of these terms, and just start to chip away at it really, really slowly. So, all right, Courtney, you've got one last one for you. Then we're going to do a giveaway. Then we're going to jump into the questions in the chat. Do you want to ask it?
Oh, yeah. All right. So for a reseller who is starting from tracking nothing for their accounting/taxes, what advice do you have for them? What's a simple breakdown of the exact numbers they need to track in order to be covered?
So the first thing is knowing what you got for sales, then knowing your expenses. And the main thing for expenses, like for simpleness, is your shipping and your platform fees are the 2 simple ones in a sense, because when you're getting the money into your bank account, it's not actually what you made in a sense. You got to subtract your shipping and taxes from the platforms, which is why when you see the 1099, it's a different number because it's not taking out all your expenses. So start slow, like with your sales, and then take some of your expenses. And then when you dig deeper, you can get into more of the expenses, deductions, your mileage, and then keep going. Just take it slow and take it one step at a time. Try and find like a simple Schedule C even, and just follow what that has on it if you can.
Awesome. That's great.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So Jenn, I just got a message from her, Jennifer, who was on here a little bit earlier. She is rebooting her system. So hopefully she will be able to join us again. But if not, Courtney, thank you for being here. You're doing a fantastic job answering these questions. So this is awesome. All right. Let's do a giveaway. Another giveaway. And I'm trying to think of a question here.
Jenn!
She's back. Welcome back, Jenn. Okay, question for a giveaway. So why don't you explain the rules of the giveaway while I think of a question real quick?
Yeah. Okay. So the rules are whoever comments first that we see with the right answer is the winner. So we're streaming this to 3 different sources. And so we're getting all those responses coming into one feed. So if you think you're the first one, but we call someone else, it may be because they were first somewhere else.
Yeah.
So we apologize if you feel shortchanged.
All right, guys. Okay, so here's the question. How many selling platforms can My Reseller Genie track? Now, that does not mean how many selling platforms does My Reseller Genie integrate with, but how many selling platforms can My Reseller Genie track? First person to get the correct answer wins a free month of My Reseller Genie Ultimate. There's always a little bit of a lag here.
Yeah. I think it's like 7 seconds.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Oh man, they're coming in over my phone.
I got Kelly Hennigan with
Right.
Unlimited.
Yes, exactly. Okay, Kelly, congratulations. You won a free month of My Reseller Genie Ultimate. Go ahead and shoot us an email to support@myresellergenie.com. I'll drop that in the chat again. Just let us know that you won and we'll get you set up. Congratulations. And guys, we're going to have some more of these too. And if you're just joining us, welcome in. We got through the written questions that we had from users, and now we're going to go through the chat and just kind of answer those in order. So stick with us, guys. And Jenn and Courtney, I know that, you didn't have a plan for which ones, people would be asking. So just whatever you feel comfortable with, jump in. You can start answering. And Paul and I will ask them first and show it on the screen.
All right.
So Larissa says, if I work full-time and already have Social Security taxes taken out of my check, do I need to pay them as part of my business as well? If I don't, how do I bypass that?
I'm going to answer that one. So you have Social Security taxes taken out of your paycheck. What you will pay on your self-employment income is what's called self-employment tax, which is both halves of Social Security and Medicare. Typically, if you work a W-2 job, you pay half of the Social Security and Medicare, and your employer commits another half for you. So you do not bypass it, you pay it. Now, there is a limit on the Social Security side. I'm not exactly sure what the dollar amount limit is this year. it's like 180,000 or something in that ballpark. If you make over that, you can stop paying Social Security taxes. Your tax software will figure that out for you. But Medicare continues no matter what. So it's like if you had 2 jobs, you would be paying Social Security on both jobs. You pay on your business and you pay on your W-2 job.
Awesome. Thank you. It's very helpful.
All right.
All right. So Deb's asking, how do you handle consignments? So this is, I think, a question about how to handle it in Reseller Genie, in My Reseller Genie.
Yeah.
So I'll take this one. So right now, what we recommend people do is you put the name of your consignor in the notes field, and then everything else you're going to treat the same way. So like if you make a sale for an item that you're consigning on Poshmark, you'll mark the sale as sold on Poshmark. Everything's the same. And then when you get to the end of the month and you're trying to figure out how much you owe each consignor, you can download your sales for the month and look for their name in the notes field. You can filter by their name to figure out how much you made off of their items and calculate their commission.
Awesome. All right. Sherry says, hi, I have a question regarding cost of goods. If cost of goods are imported from your checking and are also on your sales, does that duplicate it? I think this is also a My Reseller Genie question.
Yes. Yeah, this is a My Reseller Genie question. So yes, that would be duplicating it. So what we tell people who are tracking their inventory costs through the purchase price field on inventory and sales is you just would delete the inventory purchases from your expense detail, and that'll keep you from double counting the expense.
All right. Val says, in regards to inventory, what if you have piles of unlisted inventory? You still need to have an item by item list of that inventory. Desk storage unit here. You want to take this one?
Yeah. So yes, you should. Yes, you do. You should have an item by item list. This scares the heck out of people. But the thing is all businesses do this. So, like Faith said early on, yes, you're running a business and we do need to start to be tracking some of these things. And inventory items should be added to your inventory list when they come in. So when you bring them in your house, they should be added to your inventory list immediately. That's how all other businesses do it. Sure. So yeah, I mean, a lot of you have not done that. And so what Courtney and I suggest is that you start working on it and at least get a really good, solid idea of what you have. But technically, you should have an item by item list. That's going to help you do so many things in your business if you're maintaining that. So it's just really an important piece of your business accounting to make you more profitable and more successful in the long run.
Yeah, for sure. And can I just add what I make sure to do by tax time? Or you just let me know?
Yeah. No. So I think that probably is worth talking about. Yeah. So adding your inventory as soon as you buy it is going to give you the most up-to-date picture of your inventory. We do recognize, though, that for some folks, they like to list before adding it to My Reseller Genie because you can take advantage of the eBay integration to pull in some of that data for you. That's okay as long as you have a system to make sure you're tracking all the purchase dates and purchase prices for the inventory accurately. And you also want to make sure that you get all of your inventory entered into My Reseller Genie before you file your taxes for the year in which you purchased it. So if you bought inventory in 2022, before you file your 2022 taxes, you want to make sure to have that added into My Reseller Genie. Because if you add it after the fact, it's going to change your balances, and you would have to explain to the IRS why your inventory balance has changed. All right. All right.
Okay, Mimi says, I see that you can make an appointment with Courtney to help set up MRG. If I were to make an appointment, what all can she help with? Courtney?
I can help you with it all from the very beginning, from the very first time you're signing into having eBay sign into your My Reseller Genie, the first time you're setting up your bank accounts, everything from the very beginning. Some people try to do it and then they go, nope. And then I come in and I help them calm down, not be so stressed. And we talk through what they're doing and how to do it. So I can start from the very beginning, the very first time you sign in, you and I can meet and we can go from there. So that's how my appointments go.
Thank you, Courtney.
Yeah,
and
we really appreciate that.
Yeah, we do. And just to clarify that too, so for any of you guys who have been using My Reseller Genie for a time, you guys know about our customer support. We really, really pride ourselves in our customer support. We always respond to your emails within 24 hours or less. We have a Facebook users group. We obviously have this YouTube channel with help videos. We have social media where you can DM us and all that. So we always answer your questions, right? So if you have a question about setup or you're confused about an upload or whatever, like we will get back to you. But some people really, really want more help than that. And unfortunately, you know, if we did Zoom calls with everybody, we wouldn't have a business because there wouldn't be enough time, you know, to meet with all of you guys one-on-one. So that's why we're super excited to have Courtney. You know, we are separate from her. We don't get anything from referring people to her. But she has very, very competitive prices. You know, you can meet with her for a half an hour or an hour, and she can help you with Genie. You can continually meet with her if you would like to.
If you need a bookkeeper to keep up with it,
yes,
she can help you out.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Lots of things that Courtney can do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Claire says, I'm a part-time reseller. I don't have a DBA or LLC yet. Can I still take advantage of business expenses when I file my taxes, electric, mileage, phone, etc.?
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
I like that. I like the easy answers, Jen. Thank you.
Nice.
That's what I was going to say. So
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, let's do a couple more questions. And then, Jen, I want you to share about your course and any of the other services that you have.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do a couple other questions here. All right, so Val says, explain the different types of accrual method and what is best for resellers small time at that. Do you want to take this?
Yeah. So what I'll say is that in the reselling world, so accrual inventory method and cash inventory method get thrown out a lot. So like strictly speaking, there's not really like an accrual inventory method, cash inventory method. Like if you talk to accountants who aren't familiar with reselling, they might not recognize those terms because in most businesses, what we call accrual inventory method is just how you do inventory. So you may hear about accrual versus cash accounting, and it's the same concept as what Jen was talking about earlier. With accrual, you recognize income when it's earned and expenses when they are incurred. With cash, you recognize expense once you get the money, income once you get the money, and expense once you pay the money out. So all that to say, I think you may be asking just about like tracking inventory using the accrual method.
Mm-hmm.
And that just means that you have a list of your inventory with when you purchased it and how much you purchased it for. I think that it's a really good way of doing your accounting as a reseller, especially if you're smaller.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the main arguments for doing the cash inventory method is that it's easier. You know, it takes less time to do it because you don't have to keep up with your inventory. But as a small time reseller, you don't have much to keep up with.
Mm-hmm. So
it's like, great, I can do it this way. And that gives me better insight into my business. And it's not too much work because I'm, part-time.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're not sure about which one you are, cash or accrual, we just say, talk to your accountant about that. We're not going to really talk about that tonight.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so Tammy says, I'm totally new to My Reseller Genie. Do people use this program in conjunction with QuickBooks or thinking about hiring a 1099 consultant? How do MRG users track that task? Thanks.
Awesome. So first of all, welcome. Happy to have you here. So people, I don't think they're using it in conjunction with QuickBooks. If you are, I would say you're probably not utilizing My Reseller Genie to its fullest, and you should drop the QuickBooks subscription because it's money you don't need to be spending.
It's more expensive too.
It is. Yeah, it is more expensive. Okay, so you're thinking about hiring a 1099 consultant. That's great. You can record your payments to that consultant in the expense detail. We have a default general ledger account called contract work that you could use, or you could create a separate general ledger account for them if you wanted to.
Awesome. Okay. Val says, how do you reconcile your bank account with MRG? I have a line that says that the two are not reconciled. I don't know what to do with it.
Okay. Yeah. So,
Oh, I didn't know if you wanted them to handle it.
No, I got it.
Okay, you got it.
All right. So on the cash reconciliation tab of My Reseller Genie, you know what? Let me share my screen.
Guys, we're going to show you guys a little bit of My Reseller Genie. And then we're going to get back to more questions because we have Jenn and Courtney here, and we're so thankful for their time tonight. Guys, if you're just joining us, so Jenn is a CPA. She's currently teaching full-time accounting. And then Courtney has her master's in accounting, and she's currently studying for her CPA. And both of these amazing ladies have worked with lots of resellers, so they understand the ins and outs of what the reseller needs when it comes to their accounting and taxes.
Okay. So what Val's asking about is the cash reconciliation tab. So in My Reseller Genie, you can track, you can reconcile one business bank account. And the way you do that is you have cash activities up here. Think of that just like lines on your bank statement. And then you have bank statements down here. So by default, you're going to have an unreconciled statement. You can't get rid of that because that is just a catch-all for any cash activities that aren't assigned to a bank statement. So let me just add one in here to say income and expense. Okay, so I've got two cash activities. This is just money that's moving into your account and out of your account. Now, right now, they're not assigned to a specific bank statement. So they go to unreconciled. That's all that means. It just means it hasn't been assigned to a bank statement. So if I want to assign them to a bank statement, I would go down to bank statements and click add. And then I would say March Chase statement. And you would pull your bank statement total. So that's like at the end of the month, how much money was in your bank account. So I'll just say it's 200. And then I'll put my date for March 31st. So now that I've created that bank statement, I can say, all right, this was part of my March Chase statement. So I add that. And so then notice down here, my reconciliation amount changes to -20 because I've assigned -$20 worth of cash activities to it. And then if I change this one also to the March statement, it gives me the reconciliation amount of 80. So hopefully that helps to explain what you were asking about. I think that may have gone over a lot of people's heads. Mm-hmm. And if it went over your head and you're curious about it, feel free to reach out to us via email. We'd be happy to talk more.
But also note too that the cash reconciliation tab, which is what he was just on, not many people use it, so it's not necessary for you to use the My Reseller Genie software. But yeah, definitely reach out to us if you have questions about that. All right, next question. All right, Deb says, it was my first year selling last year. The accountant charged me $900 and I only made $3,000 profit. If I use RG, can I just use TurboTax to do my own taxes? Jenn, can you answer that one? Oh no, she froze. Oh, guys, Jenn is in Wisconsin and her internet is not great. So, Courtney, can you answer that one?
So yes, you can use TurboTax. Like, it's fine. But as some resellers have found, it doesn't do exactly everything they want with deductions. It doesn't ask all the questions. So going to an accountant can always be better because in a lot of ways we know a lot more deductions. We can go even deeper into things than like the basic TurboTax can. But yes, if you're using Reseller Genie, you can use TurboTax, but I can't say it's always going to give you the best results.
Awesome.
Cool.
Great.
All right.
All right. Mimi says, what are the rules for paying yourself if you have an LLC?
Well, I guess I'll answer that. Dang it, Jenn. So with an LLC, you can ultimately just do what's called an owner's draw, and you use that to give yourself money. It's not like with an S corp where you have to have payroll or anything like that. Ultimately, having an LLC, you're just a sole person, and you can pay yourself as you want in a sense. Don't drain your bank account or anything crazy. Make sure you have stuff for quarterly taxes, but you can ultimately just do an owner's draw. You label it as an owner's draw, and you don't claim it as a business expense or anything because it's an owner's draw.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you, Courtney. All right. E says, what about inventory purchased in previous years that we did not claim as a deduction? Can we claim it this year? Oh, that's a very, very good question. Courtney, do you know the answer to that one?
You should not claim it this year since it was technically part of last year, and you should technically amend your last year return to have it on that year that you actually purchased.
Okay.
It's a simple, short, quick answer to that.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
But that might be a question where you want to talk to your accountant a little bit more, get some one-on-one assistance.
Yeah.
So they can
we
look.
all have different, like anything, all of us accountants think a little differently. We have our own ways, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So this is a great question. I'm really glad Misty asked this. So can you do cash method while also doing accrual bookkeeping? My CPA marks cash method, but also has an ending inventory amount on my taxes. Is this correct? So yeah, I can take this one. So remember earlier I was talking about how like accrual inventory method and cash inventory method is kind of something that just really gets thrown around in the reselling world and is not really a thing for most accountants. So that's kind of what we're running into here. So most reselling businesses are going to be cash method as opposed to accrual method. That means that for pretty much everything except inventory, you record the income when the money hits your account and you record the expense when it leaves your account. Inventory, though, on the Schedule C, it's got that beginning inventory balance, purchases, ending inventory balance. So that's just like the one exception where your business does an accrual type accounting. So yes, that's totally normal. Your accountant isn't messing up your taxes.
Awesome.
Awesome. All right.
Guys, these are great questions. Thank you all. Okay, Rebecca says, when I started with Reseller Genie, do I have to enter all my inventory separately? And we kind of already addressed this, but go over it again.
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways that you can add your inventory to My Reseller Genie. If you've got a record of it somewhere in a spreadsheet, for example, you can build an upload and upload it all at once, which that's great, when people are in that situation. If you don't have, a record of it, we typically have people start by pulling their listings from whichever platform they sell or they have most of their listings on. And then you can add the inventory information later. We have a bulk update feature.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that would be what I would say for that.
Fantastic. Jenn is back.
Yay! Thank goodness.
All right, Jenn, actually, since you are back, it's okay. We know it. Yeah, internet stuff is never convenient, and we all.
Yeah, and it's not in your control.
It's not in your control. But in case you do leave us again, can you, before we answer the next question, can you just tell us a little bit about the services that you offer right now?
Yes.
Yeah. So I do, I have a course out there called the Financially Organized Reseller. And what that does is it goes through, it's an 8-week course, and Courtney's actually gone through it. So she knows what's in it. And it talks about like the different methods of accounting. It talks about which expenses you can track. It has a ton of resources in there for you. So it has like an inventory spreadsheet that you can maintain for things that aren't listed. It has a Schedule C organizer that is fantastic. When Courtney gets those with people's tax returns, she's very, very happy. It goes through the like how to figure out your business use of home. So essentially that tracker, you can take the information that you get off of My Reseller Genie, much of it, and just plug it into the spots, and everything is right there. There's links to a variety of other resources, plus all kinds of like basic accounting training. And then we talk about retirement planning in there as well for self-employed folks. So there's a bunch of like really awesome information. The other thing that I do is what's called consulting, which is helping you get your businesses set up. So if you want to form an LLC, if you're going to be selling locally and you need a sales tax number, if you want to do tax planning so that you are, maybe you are thinking about buying something and you're not sure whether you should buy it in this year or next, so we like set up ways to like maximize your tax savings from year to year. So those are the services that I offer at this time. Courtney and I work in tandem. So I will get a client who comes in, does a consultation. We get everything kind of organized, and then I shift you off to Courtney, who can help you with bookkeeping and taxes. So we tag team. And so those are the two things that I offer right now. I think you guys put links to both of those. The course is $47. Like the value in that thing, I used to sell it for a ton more than that. Yeah. So literally for $47, you get an 8-week college accounting course.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just it.
Yeah. Guys, these are usually thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Jen, I feel bad. I didn't even know that. That is amazing, guys.
Yeah, my college accounting courses were not $47. I'm jealous. That's amazing.
That's amazing.
No, the college accounting courses, right? I mean, the college accounting courses that I teach are $1,000 at a community college.
Yeah.
And you're getting an 8-week class that is specific to resellers, mind you, for $47. So there is a link in the description. So there's a link to purchase the course.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jen, for providing that too. And guys, I think that you'll find too that if you do sign up for her course, and again, My Reseller Genie doesn't get anything from referring this. So we just believe again in what Jen and Courtney are doing. But I think that you're going to find, if you do take that course, you're going to find that Jennifer is so good at explaining some of these terms and teaching. Granted, that's what she does, right? If you missed it earlier, she's a full-time teacher right now and teaching accounting. But my goodness, like tonight, she's been amazing. The last live that we did with her, she can just explain these accounting terms and things in ways that you can really grasp and wrap your head around. So highly, highly recommend that, especially, for just $47. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Let's jump back to some questions. We're going to be doing another giveaway soon, but let's answer some more questions.
All right. I'm so glad you asked this. So did My Reseller Genie release an expense tracker? Yes, we did. If you're using our service and you don't see it, that means you're on the basic plan. So you can upgrade. The expense tracker is available on both premium and ultimate. And you can even integrate your bank account or credit card. So you can click the little profile icon, the upper right, click manage subscription, and you can upgrade. But yes, we do have the expense tracker. And then how do I edit sales to account for damage, lost revenue / inventory? Yeah. So edit sales. I think you mean like, how do you
change
how do you take an item out of inventory for if it got damaged or lost or whatever? So what you would do is create a sales platform for damaged items and then record it as sold under that platform for $0. So that'll keep your inventory balances intact and it'll expense the item.
Awesome. Okay. Ashley says, how do you account for sales made in 1 year from product bought in a previous year? My spreadsheet adds it to my current year purchases, but that would also be carried over inventory and counted twice. Jen, do you want to handle that one?
So I think she might be frozen. Yeah. So
what, Courtney?
Ah, say nothing.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
yeah. Okay. So basically, you want to keep your purchase date from whenever you bought the item, and the purchase price. So the spreadsheet that you're using, it shouldn't be adding it to purchases for the year. I would recommend possibly considering My Reseller Genie because we won't add it to purchases, but yeah, it should just show up in the purchases total for whichever year you bought it, and yeah. That wasn't a very eloquent answer, but
That's okay.
I hope it was.
That's what my answer would have been, so you're fine.
Okay,
Right.
so help me understand the edit sales shipping cost field versus shipping cost analytics. Great question. Why do shipping costs and shipping cost analytics only show the? Okay, so look, let me show you what is being talked about. So I'll report a sale real quick.
All right, guys. And yeah, this is something that we added, not recently, but I guess more recently than not, where we have two different types of shipping fees that we calculate. And we do that for a specific reason. And Paul's going to tell you what. Yeah,
so there's two fields here. There's shipping costs and shipping cost analytics only. Shoot, they're not seeing my screen right now.
Oh, no.
Nope.
Courtney, you should have said something.
Nah, let him suffer a little.
we forgot to share our screen.
Okay, all right.
There we go.
Here we go. Okay, so there's two fields for sales. There's one for shipping costs and one for shipping cost analytics only. All right, so the whole reason that we have this is basically because of eBay. So in Poshmark, when you look at your sale, first of all, Poshmark handles shipping, but if you gave like a shipping discount, you would record that as shipping costs. But it's all contained on the sale. So when you look at the sale, you see like, here's my fees, here's my shipping costs, here's what I made, or here's how much I sold the item for. eBay is different because shipping labels are separate from the sales transactions. So basically, it becomes harder to keep track of your shipping labels and to reconcile everything. So the way we handle this is we pull shipping labels into the expense detail. So if you're using the eBay integration, when the shipping labels get pulled over, they come into the expense detail. Now, we still wanted to attach them to sales so that you could see how much money you made on the sale. But we don't want that to go into this shipping cost field because then it would show up on the P&L twice, once from the expense detail and once from the shipping cost field. So instead, we put it here so that it only shows up in your sales analytics. It doesn't show up again on your expense detail.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. Okay, back to the questions. Sorry, guys. I'm getting over a sinus infection right now. So, all right, let's do one more question. Then we're going to do a giveaway. Then we're going to finish out the questions. All right. Missy says, is it
Sorry.
Is it unordinary to use a car 100% for business use? I literally only use my car for reselling, but don't want to alarm the IRS. Courtney.
It's very unordinary because most of us will go to the grocery store, go to the gas station, something that's not 100% for your business.
Mm-hmm.
So, or you stop for an errand that's not a thrift store or the post office. So it's very unordinary. I don't think I haven't seen it, and I'm not sure Jen has seen it really, that we've ever seen anyone 100% use their car for business. And as she said earlier, using the mileage thing anyways is the
If
best.
you can,
Oh, I can hear you.
if you can hear me, no. To use your, I turned off my video because I thought it might help. So, it would be very unusual to have a car that is only used for business unless you have a second car. Then it might be possible.
Okay.
Right.
So would you say then that that's going to be an alarm to the IRS?
It depends on what we're talking about as far as a dollar amount. And the thing is if it's an alarm to the IRS that you can prove as being accurate, it doesn't matter. Like if you get audited, I get this question so often, and it's like, if you're doing everything legitimately, it doesn't matter if you get audited, because you would just hand them everything and say, here's everything, and everything is accurate. So I don't know that it would alarm the IRS unless it was like thousands and thousands of dollars, but it's unusual. It would be unusual.
Gotcha.
So it might be something that was questioned.
Okay, cool. Great. All right, guys, let's do one other giveaway. Here's my question. First person to answer it correctly in the chat gets a free month of My Reseller Genie. How much does Jenn's reseller accounting course cost?
Oh, good question.
Thank you.
I like that one.
What do you think? First person that we see in the chat to answer it correctly will be the winner. And we apologize, if it shows up differently in your chat, there's nothing that we can do about that. So, but we will do it fairly on our end. Okay. Oh, you know what? If you don't want to scroll down, I have it right here. Hey. Okay. Looks like Ecom Enterprise. Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. My bad. Al. E-commerce. I'm so sorry to make you excited there for a second. Al, you are the winner.
Yeah, that was rough.
That was so rough.
We're sorry.
I apologize for that, man. Okay, so Al Dolan, congratulations. You won a free month of My Reseller Genie Ultimate. Go ahead, shoot us an email. Let us know, and we'll get you set up with that, and I'll drop that in the chat right now. Okay, back to questions.
All right.
First, we got to find them.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that Tammy?
So actually, this isn't a question, but it's kind of an interesting point.
Okay.
So Tammy says, I think that an item-by-item list is also beneficial for insurance purposes to understand the value. I ran into this during a fire evacuation a few years ago. Yeah, so like if your inventory got burned up, it would be really great to have a list of all your inventory so that you could submit it to the insurance company and hopefully get a check for it.
Okay.
All right.
Misty says, are there cons to using section 179/bonus depreciation on a car purchase for business use? Courtney or Jen, take it away.
Jen. She's better at explaining it than I am.
Okay. So here's the thing with 179. First of all, you're probably not going to be doing a 179 or bonus depreciation on a vehicle anyway. Most likely you're going to be doing standard mileage on a vehicle. You are going to come out so much better over the years, 99% of the time. Okay. So as far as taking section 179 or bonus depreciation on something other than in a consultation, to determine, do you need the expense this year? Would you be better off spreading it over the next 5 years when your income is higher? So this is a question that can't really be answered on a broad basis. It can only be answered on an individual basis as part of your tax planning.
Cool.
Gotcha.
Awesome. Very helpful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Michael says, and Courtney, I think this is for you. Do you do Zoom appointments or in person only?
I do Zoom. Well, I do Google Meets appointments, but same thing as Zoom.
Awesome.
They're no different, but I do not do in-person appointments
Okay.
since most of my clients are in all 50 states.
Yeah.
I keep right clicking instead of.
All right, Yvette's here. Hey, girl, it's so good to have you here. All right, she says, which is the report I need to print for my accountant to do my taxes from MRG? Do you want to answer that?
I'm sorry, I was reading other comments.
I was going to say I could answer if you really want me to.
So the report that you're going to print out for your accountant is the profit and loss detail. We have videos that show how to do it. It's very, very easy. Just go over to the reseller reports tab, hit a profit and loss detail. If you do track inventory, you can also print out your inventory report, which is going to have the 3 numbers that you need.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you. Way to handle that.
No, you're good. All right, guys, we're going to try to fly through the rest of these because we really value Courtney and Jen's time. So Missy says, how do you scale your business while also doing accrual? It can be time consuming. Question.
Yeah. So strong processes are really key. I want Jen to say what she was going to say, but I mean, like, the one thing I would say is that having really strong processes in place can help. With My Reseller Genie, I would say that taking advantage of doing bulk uploads would be helpful, because if you learn just like a couple things in spreadsheets and can use copy and paste effectively, you can add a lot of stuff really quickly. So that's what I would say. Love to hear your perspective, Jen.
Maybe.
I think there's like a 5-second delay for her too. So can you hear us, Jen?
All right. Yeah. So we'll move on to Giselle's question. All right.
For last year, 2022 inventory, I have my receipt, but I don't have all of my items in the Genie. Is it okay to just use my receipts to show purchase costs in my business account to file taxes for 2022?
So the reason that we kind of harp on adding things to My Reseller Genie is basically because there's a decent amount of math that you need to do to figure out your beginning inventory balance, purchases during the year, and ending inventory balance. And those are the numbers that you would report on your Schedule C to get your cost of goods sold. So I would advise you to, it's great you have those receipts, but I would advise you to add that inventory into My Reseller Genie so that you can run the inventory report before filing your taxes.
All right.
Okay.
What do you do if you have old unlisted inventory, but you don't know when you got it or how much you purchased it for?
You want me to answer that?
Yeah, go for it, Courtney.
I answer it all the time.
Yeah.
So what we try to say is give your best estimate for the purchase. Like, we all know sometimes you got stuff from 10 years ago. Try to do your best to get as close to when you think roughly around when you got it purchased. So that way you have a date in there. We understand. I think most of us understand. We don't always remember something we bought 10 years ago, but try your best to get as close to the actual date as you can.
Yeah. Now, if it's like a personal item that you're adding to your business inventory, correct me if I'm wrong, Courtney, but I think you would mark the date as whenever you added it to your business inventory, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
A lot of times you just make it all equal like 0.
Okay.
Cool.
Great.
Okay. All right.
All right. Ashley says, if I decide to pull inventory for personal use that was accounted for in 2021, could I just buy it for my business for cost? Example, if I pull $1,000 worth of inventory, can I record this as sold for $1,000? Jen, do we have you or no?
Please. Jen.
Right. Yeah, I think that her connection is still pretty bad. All right, Courtney or Paul, take it away.
I think I'm still trying to understand the question.
Okay. Do you want? Yeah.
Because if they're taking the inventory that they bought, if I'm understanding this correctly, it's technically their item till they decide it's theirs. So you wouldn't get a sale or anything for it. Like, it would just be you bought it for yourself in a sense. Even though it was originally inventory, you never put it anywhere. You never sold it. So it becomes personal anyways. You know, it's no different than if you went to the thrift store, bought 5 items for thrifting and 5 items for yourself. You wouldn't take a sale for those 5 items you bought for yourself.
Gotcha.
I think.
Sure. Ashley, if we're not answering your question, feel free to just try to explain it again in the chat and we'll get to it in a minute. Did you have a thought about that?
No, and I'm worried I'm going to just throw everything off by thinking too much.
Okay.
I was doing the same thing, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know if it's an
Can you hear me?
thing.
Yes.
So, if they use the cash method and they already deducted it in 2021, then
oh, Jen, I think we lost you again.
yeah, this is one.
I wonder if she could type it like to us in Messenger, Faith, and then one of us can read it off of Messenger.
Sure. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That way, me and Paul don't confuse anyone by overthinking.
Sure. Yep.
Cool.
And her teaching ways can probably explain it better than I attempted to.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah. For now, let's just move on to the next question, and then Ashley will try to get you a better answer for that one. Okay.
Oh, if it was inventory already, Ashley, if it was part of your ending inventory, just reduce your Can you hear me?
Yes. Nope.
If it was accounted.
Yeah. Okay. So Jen, we're having trouble. So I just sent you a message. Yeah, but we're gonna just have to move on to the next question.
Yeah, I think I'm going to skip that one because I think that's a question for Jen.
Great.
Sorry.
Oh, you do not need to apologize, Courtney. Okay. All right, guys, we are saving one more giveaway for the end. Thank you all for joining us tonight. If you did not win a free month of My Reseller Genie, just know that if you go to our website and check out and use the code MRGLive15 and make sure that that's all caps, MRGLive15, you'll get 15% off of your first month. All right. All right. Is there a way to check for duplicate inventory entries? For example, a renewed eBay auction will get re-uploaded when it does a listings pool. And this is for My Reseller Genie specific, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So great question. What he's referring to is with our eBay integration, every day it'll pull new listings, sales, and expenses. The thing is when you relist an item on eBay, so you do like end and sell similar, it creates a new listing. So even though it's already in My Reseller Genie, it comes in as though it's a new listing. So I'm glad you asked this. Currently, there's not a way. You would just kind of need to know like, oh yeah, I relisted this item. But we're in the process of doing actually a pretty big eBay update that's going to make a number of things easier. And one of the things we're adding is a check for any inventory that has a matching item title. So no, not yet, but we're working on something that I think will really help a lot.
Awesome. All right. And do you want to go back to that question for Jen because we have a new method? She's going to just text us the answers to those.
Okay.
So we can just read it off and then we'll come back to it in a minute.
Which
It
one?
was Heather. Go down.
So that's the one I skipped over.
Yeah.
Is that the one that she's?
No, but I need to message it to her so that she
Oh,
can see. Okay.
gotcha.
So Jen, this is for you. And guys, apologies. Internet is just troublesome sometimes. So poor Jen is having a hard time here with her internet. So what we're going to do is message her this question, Heather, and then we'll wait to get back to her and then read off what she says. So if reselling is my only income, that I personally make, and my Roth IRA comes from my money,
Yeah.
can I start counting my investment as an expense of my business coming from what I pay myself? Let me just take a picture of that real quick. Okay. We're going to come right back to that one, Heather.
All right. And then scrolling back down. Okay. I have a question. I heard that you should open a separate bank account for your business. I would love to do that, but I am currently using my personal account and feel kind of stuck. Suggestions?
You
What
want
do you
me
say,
to
Courtney? Yeah. What do you say, Courtney?
You really should have a separate bank account. That way it's easier to keep track of everything. You're not trying to mix anything personal. It's cleaner. It's much, much easier on an tracking base altogether. Like, yes, in My Reseller Genie, you can delete personal things, and other platforms you can delete your personal thing, but that becomes tedious and a pain in the butt. Whereas if you just take from one bank account, that's a checking, to do checking, savings, and even a credit card, and have all three, it's clear, clean, cut, and good to go.
Cool. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. And Jen does have an answer for Heather about the Roth IRA. So Jen is saying it's not a business expense. Roth is not deductible when doing it, but comes out tax-free at retirement.
Yep.
Awesome.
Okay, so can you explain MRG cost of goods sold matching? We reuse descriptions, different costs for the same item, and build in intelligence into the eBay SKU. Okay, Michael. So what Michael's referring to is when we pull eBay sales into My Reseller Genie, there's a matching screen that you see where you can match sales up with inventory items. So then, since eBay doesn't have the purchase price of the item, you can pull it from My Reseller Genie and attach it to that sale. The way that it works is first we look for item title matches. So if there's an item title that is in inventory that matches up with the item title of the sale, then the auto matcher will say, okay, these two go together. If there's no matching item title, then it will do the same thing, but it'll look at your SKU. So does the SKU on this sale match a SKU in inventory? So you'll see which items get matched up in My Reseller Genie with the auto matcher, and you can approve those, or you can go to the manual sales matching and search for the item in inventory that way.
Awesome. And guys, we are getting to the end of these questions. These have been amazing. We're going to do one more giveaway in just a minute. But thank you guys so much. These are fantastic. All right. What's the next question? Looks like we have a question from Facebook. And so sorry, Facebook user, for some reason it's not pulling your name on. But Facebook user, thank you. Excuse me. So, all right. So they said, so did I understand correctly that we can't deduct a percentage of rent utilities based on square footage of the property used solely for our business? We're an S Corp. All right. We will wait for Jen on that one. Again, guys, if you're just joining, Jen is having some Wi-Fi issues, so she will get us the answer on that one in a second. Let's move to Misty here.
All right. So do you have to track personal mileage and business mileage, or can you just track business and subtract that from the total miles at the end of the year to get your personal mileage?
So some people just track their business mileage and they give that to their accountant. Other people track both. I think it's really just an accountant preference and how you feel. Because at the end of the day, all you like the IRS really needs to know is what your business mileage was. And like for this year, if you're doing 2022, just FYI, the first 6 months were one price and the second 6 months were another one. So just make sure you know exactly what you drove January through June and July through December for this year. Just FYI.
And just on that note, in My Reseller Genie, you can add mileage and it will do the calculation for you. So like it knows what the mileage rate was based on the date you put in, and it'll get you the right expense to save you a little time.
And you have a non-sourcing mileage one in there too, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Just making sure. Sorry.
Oh, that's good. Can you go back up to the Facebook user and just hover over that one? All right. So Facebook user, we just got the answer to this. Jen says that yes, or I'm sorry, you can, but it's more of an individual tax question. So great question, but it would be best handled with scheduling a consultation with your accountant or your CPA.
Cool.
All right, guys, we're almost at the end. We're going to do another giveaway. So somebody's going to win a month of My Reseller Genie. All right. Oh, is that it?
Yeah, looks like that's it.
Wait, I thought there was one more.
Well, we already addressed
Oh,
that.
we're
So
gonna do that. All right, guys, we are wrapping up here. It's time for another giveaway. If you have any more questions, drop them, but we're gonna be signing out here in just a minute. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Okay, so I need to think of another question. Can you explain the rules again while I do that?
yeah, so the rules are the first right answer that we see in the chat wins. We're pulling this in from 3 different locations, and we may or may not get things in the same order that they're written, but we're doing our best here.
Awesome.
Hey, Bear Kitty's here.
Hey, Bear Kitty. Yes, you are late, but you can watch the replay. We love Bear Kitty. Okay. Really quick. Before I ask my question and give away a free month of Genie, Missy's asking, do you still have availability for taxes for 2022? Courtney, can you explain kind of where you're at with that?
So next week is actually a week where I'm not taking any appointments. So if you go on my calendar, don't freak out. It's literally, me and Jen did this kind of last year too. We take a week to kind of see where we are with our clients, wrap everything up. So right now, the only thing I have is extension appointments, because I don't want to promise I can have something by April 15th, because as of today, I don't know. Hopefully by next week, I can open back up regular tax appointments. But right now, I'm kind of just doing extensions because there's a lot of you. Nothing wrong with that. I like the business, but I don't want to commit to something that I can't guarantee I'll have done by tax day. So right now, I kind of just am doing extension appointments. I will probably have a better answer by the end of next week, since I'm taking it off mainly from appointments to just catch up, clean up, and organize again. So that's when I will probably reopen regular appointments, and I can let Faith and Paul know when I do that too, so their users know.
Awesome. Thank you, Courtney. All right, guys, I have a question. We're going to give away a month of Genie. Get your typing fingers ready. First person that we see wins. Okay, so this is going to be a hard one. Okay. If you don't follow my Instagram or Facebook stories, you're probably not going to know, but you still have a chance to guess correctly. What is one of the reseller conferences or events that My Reseller Genie is going to this year? And there's a little bit of a delay, so we're going to wait for the for the answers to come in. Oh, I think we have somebody. Okay, the official J-Man says FlipCon. Yes, we are going to FlipCon this year. We are also going to Boss Reseller Remix. We're going to Reseller Rally. Who knows? Maybe we'll throw in another one. Probably not, because it's going to be a lot for us as it is. But yeah, guys, this means that you all have followed my social media. Thank you. That means a lot. But yes, we are going to FlipCon as well as Boss and Reseller Rally. Congratulations, the official J-Man. If you can send me an email at support@myresellergenie.com, we'll get you set up with your free month of My Reseller Genie. And guys, I think that's a wrap. What do you want to say?
So there's a couple people I want to get back to really quick.
Yeah, go for it.
So I was thinking more about what Ashley was saying with this question. I think I know what she's saying. So
Okay.
I can scroll all the way back up here and find it. Okay, so basically what I think you're going to need to do, Ashley, is adjust your beginning inventory balance. I would confirm this with your accountant, but there's a form that you fill out explaining why a beginning inventory balance changed. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be the answer, but I would recommend talking to your accountant specifically about this one.
Awesome. Was there something else?
Yep. Someone was asking about if we have a basic tutorial for beginners.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So welcome to the Artful Journey. We're happy to have you here. So we've got a lot of resources available. One area I'd recommend starting is when you sign up, check your spam for emails from us, because we have emails that go out and tell you, like, when you first sign up, how do you get into My Reseller Genie, and kind of walks you through that. There's also, let me share my screen again. There's also, in the My Reseller Genie app, if you click this question mark icon, you can sort or you can kind of filter based on topic. So like, I need help with importing data. What kind of data? Sales, inventory, expenses, cash. Okay, sales, where are you pulling it from? And then when you click on these, it navigates to a video that explains how to do what you're trying to do. So that's another helpful resource. And then if you ever need, like if you have a specific question, you need help from us, you can send us an email, just clicking there and then filling out the information. Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of resources available, and most of our videos are kind of broken up into like my topic, because we just found that's easier for people to search.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right, guys. Jen actually had to sign off because her internet went completely black. So we're so sorry about that, but we're so happy that she could join us. Courtney, one last question for you. Are you taking MRG appointments next week, or is that the week after as well as the taxes?
So next week, I'm not really taking any appointments because it's just easier on the like scheduling thing to just take it off. But after next week, I will take MRG appointments, everything. I just kind of need a week, as Faith knows, because I send her a lot of messages. There's a lot going on, and I just figured it was better to give my clients that I currently have and have gotten their time, and then the following week all that is open on my Calendly now too, is after next week. So all my appointments after next week are sitting on Calendly and are open. Just
awesome.
Not those days.
Okay, fantastic.
Cool.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't yet, please hit the like button. That just really helps us. Courtney, we are so grateful that you could be here. Jen, wherever you are, we're so happy that you could join us. Guys, for anybody who didn't see, please check out all of the links in the description of this video, because it will give you the scheduling links for Courtney's meetings that she offers, as well as the course that Jen provides that helps resellers understand accounting and taxes. If you did not win a free month of Genie tonight, don't worry, because you can still get 15% off of your first month with the coupon code MRGLive15. It has to be all caps though, so just remember that. And I feel like there's one last thing that I am forgetting a lot.
The coupon code expires on March 13th, so do it quickly.
Thank you. Yes, it expires on Monday. Guys, thank you so much for joining. We appreciate you guys so much. And happy reselling, happy accounting. We got this. We can do this.
Yeah, that's what caffeine's for.
Yes, there we go. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.